Twisted Skull. Thank you. Whoa.
Oh boy. We didn't check those, huh?
Nope. I'm sure it'll be fine. I haven't. Yeah, no, it was a zombie from yesterday, so he should be good. CC. What's up, CC? CC from CT.
Hi, CC.
Very true. Can you get a new door?
I could get a new door.
It's just so ominous. I do want to become famous. Why, Sean? I got it.
Thank you.
Cece wants to know if she can say the M word.
The M word. Monster? Sure. Just no keyword. Let's see.
Oh yeah, Stephen and...
Oh, maybe she means Muppet.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't say it.
No, I am not a Muppet.
Stephen and Benji, just so you know, Ben is a monster. We don't say the P word. That's a slur. That's a slur.
I see.
I will kick you out of the show if you say that word.
I would never presume.
Banned.
Forever.
Oh, because you got a new name.
Oh, I hate that. No, I mean, it's a good name, but I'm going to forget that forever. It's like when Naomi changed her name.
Dougie. Meow. Meow. I don't know how to read that.
Chrissy.
Dougie Meow. Hello and welcome to ControlAltDeath.
Hello.
I'm Ben Monster.
I'm Gabriel Chisano.
And welcome to a very special episode of ControlAltDeath.
Another special episode.
I know, two in a row.
Wow.
What the hell?
I don't know. Everyone just wants to be on the show. Apparently, it's not like we have to bake them or anything.
Yeah, I know. We got two special guests tonight.
Two special guests. Should I make the grand reveal?
Do it.
Dun, 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 dun. Yay!
Welcome to the show, Steven, Cedars, and Benji Kleiman. Welcome, welcome,
Whoa.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you
so
for
much.
having us.
Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
We love you guys.
Our pleasure.
And this is our first time meeting, and we already love you.
Yeah,
It's going great.
we all love
With
each other.
friendship, lots of me.
You guys wrote and directed Snatchers.
Yeah.
We did.
We absolutely love that movie. We
Loved it.
we watched it kind of on a whim. We didn't know much about it. I think it was right when HBO Max like kind of came out, right? We wanted to just try something from that service. And Ben, you suggested it. And
I watched. I think I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, "This is a movie we definitely need to watch." I don't think I even finished the trailer.
Yeah,
I do that a lot.
Yeah.
I was
Wow,
like,
that's high praise.
And
I stopped it, and I was like, "Yep, this is it. We need to watch this." And
you know, I love Ben, but sometimes when he suggests movies,
yeah,
they're garbage. So I always, whenever he suggests a movie, I'm always like a little gun shy. So when I went into it and started watching, I'm like, oh no, this is incredible. I love this movie. So, thank you guys again for coming on. It's such an honor.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, it's always nice to have low expectations when you enter into anything, and we benefited from low expectations. Maybe that's all it was. Maybe it's terrible.
No, it's great.
Because I watched it again today,
Me too.
and I was like,
wow.
I love this movie even more the
It's so
second
good.
time.
It's so good.
Wow.
Double.
Because the fear is always that you kind of like, it's a little bit of like, you do a magic trick for your friend, and like the first time they're like, whoa, how'd the six get on the bottom of the deck?
Right.
And then the second time they're like, oh, that's the six of diamonds. And you're like, no. So I'm
No,
really
yeah.
I did this magic trick for Benji one time, and the six was on the bottom of the deck.
The second time I was like, that's the six of diamonds, brother.
No, yeah. I watched it again too, and I loved it even more. Steven, I texted you or I messaged you a couple nights ago asking about the because this started as a web series, which we'll get into later, but I didn't know that the web series and the movie are literally like the same thing. Like you guys use the same footage. So that was actually really cool to watch it again and like, okay, you can kind of see a little bit where you broke these things up here and there. Yeah. When you watch it the first time, that I didn't get that at all. It was totally seamless, yeah. But it was really cool to watch it again and kind of see that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was actually really funny. We wrote it as a movie originally.
Oh,
and
perfect.
Then we sold it to like Warner Brothers, and they were gonna do like a web series-y type thing, and it was gonna be like I think it was going to be what HBO Max is, although I'm not exactly sure about that. But they told us that there was going to be their own Warner Brothers platform. Huh. And we made the first season of this web series, and Benji and I basically were in our minds, we're like, at the end, we're just going to cut this together into a movie. So we
literally didn't change our script at all. We just chopped it up. We were like, and this scene will be the end of episode 1.
Awesome.
Exactly. And then like the entire time on set, like we just kept calling it a movie. And then like the crew was like, I guess we're making a movie. And it was really like, we didn't let it, like a lot of web series aren't, they're not great, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But
true.
It's not a medium that one associates with quality.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but, and so I think a lot of people who, I think we didn't let it be an excuse to like cut corners. We were like, no, we have to make it. We have to commit hard to just making this as to the best of our abilities. So
yeah.
And one thing that benefited us a lot was that we had this movie script that we had for a couple of years in various forms, but more or less what Snatchers was, and we couldn't really get anyone to give a shit about it, for lack of a better term, and so we actually filmed one scene as like a proof of concept, which was the scene in the clinic with the OB-GYN.
Love it.
Great.
And so we had made, and that's still the scene we filmed as a proof of concept is what's in the movie also.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so,
Wow.
yeah, so it was really when we started shooting with this with the crew of what was technically a web series that we were calling a movie. Everyone on the crew had seen the short, so there was already a level of like cinematic quality that everyone knew we were going for. So we didn't have to be like, no, we swear this will be cool. They already kind of had a sense of
what it was going to be.
Yeah, like what we were envisioning tonally and quality wise, and
that's awesome.
That
That's great.
Amazing.
So how did you guys like start? What was your guys' introduction to filmmaking? Like, how did you guys start that? Were you shooting films as little kids, or?
Yeah, so Benji and I actually grew up with each other. We met in 4th grade, and we became best friends. And then we just started making like little movies, like little action movies that made no sense, but we were like obsessed with The Matrix, and we were obsessed with Snatch.
Creeps. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Creeps. I know Creeps.
Thank you for subscribing, Creeps.
Thank you,
We
Creeps.
appreciate it so much.
I didn't realize that could happen. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
excited that that happened.
It can happen.
There's things that can happen.
Yeah.
There's
Wow.
definitely things.
When we were making Snatch ripoffs in 7th grade, never did we think that Creeps was going to subscribe. We never had this kind of aspiration.
Or was that the goal? Is like one day we're going to be on a show where like 10 people are going to watch, and Creeps is going to subscribe, and we're going to make it big.
I mean, we could only have dreamed, and it's,
You guys did
it's
it.
incredible to be here.
Achievement unlocked.
Christy's asking if the fart works. So on one of our other shows, we have a automation where if someone types in exclamation fart, it'll make a fart sound. We don't have that on this show, but I can manually fart on command. So Chrissy, she did a fart. So hold on, I need to get in the moment to just. There we go. Okay.
Wow,
There you
very
go.
nice.
Yeah. So if anyone needs to fart, let me know, and I'll do the fart for you whenever you need to. Oh,
And
there we go.
Benji and I can also help out.
Sure.
We're big,
Yeah.
we do on set do a lot of farting.
Perfect.
And I do think that when at the end of our shoots, people say we're the fartiest directors they've ever worked with, which we take as
We've almost lost a couple crew members to a particularly smelly.
that actually is true.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Yeah.
A long time ago I shot like a little short with a bunch of friends, and they were shooting inside, and me and my co-director and the other guy who was gonna be in the scene later were standing outside, and he let out the like our friend, the guy who's gonna actually the actor, he let out such a huge fart that you can actually hear it in the audio, and we kept it in. Like you cannot tell it's a fart because just like a little boop, but if you know, and it's amazing.
We had a game that was whenever we were trying to record room tone, that was
Fart.
the time to really record it.
I love
It
it.
was really very funny to everyone except for Jordan Booth.
Here's the counterintuitive thing about farting during room tone. Sure, you can make an audible fart, and that's funny during room tone. But if you do a silent fart, but it smells really bad,
those are the
then
best.
everyone's trying to be quiet, and everyone has the same.
That's amazing.
To all you aspiring filmmakers out there.
Robot Don saying these dudes are the Coen brothers of farts. How does that make you feel?
I want that as a pull quote on the next DVD.
Yeah.
I want that on my gravestone.
Yeah. So you said you were making Snatch movie, like Snatch ripoffs. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, as Stephen was stressing, they didn't make any. There was no plot. They made no sense.
Yeah. That's how
It's
they all are.
like action sequences.
Yeah, exactly.
of
They were like
stunts.
little
Yeah.
exercises in like a guy is running and he kicks a fence and then the other guy is there.
Sounds awesome. I would watch
Well,
that
it was
movie.
also Oh, you should. It's great. It was also, this is like right. We had like Final Cut Pro 2, and
Mhm.
we were literally like putting on our dad's black trench coats like Neo, and then like jumping backwards off of our friends' porches and playing it in reverse. So we were like leaping 2 stories in
Awesome.
black trench coats and being like, we look like grown-ups.
Well,
You
guess
could-
we have that. We have the video here now with us.
What?
No, we don't. We don't.
No,
Wouldn't that be
that'd be
Wouldn't that be amazing though?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird.
I would have a panic attack if you had that footage.
I wish. Next time. Ben, you want to shout out people who are hopping in the chat?
Oh yeah, we got Heck in there. We got Chrissy. We got Don. The two Dons are in the chat.
Two Dons. We got Fifi. We got Creeps.
Yes,
Creeps.
Fifi just said she just finished Snatchers half an hour ago. She just finished watching it.
Awesome. That's
Fifi,
so cool.
If you want to call.
Oh yeah, phone.
They're right
lines.
there. Ask some questions.
Phone lines are open.
I see a question.
We just lost a good question.
Aaron says, this movie seems like such a fresh take. How did you know when you have an idea worthy of pursuing? What made you settle on this one? Great question.
It's a great question. I think Benji and I are big believers in like that there isn't any. It's not one idea that makes a movie. It's a million ideas that it takes to make a movie.
Right.
But one of the things that I think we are big also believers in is just generating as many ideas as possible, and that it's being able and then I don't think we were like this one perfect idea that just came to us out of the blue. I think we made a lot of sketches that are very kind of like similarly horror comedy-y toned, and I think we just got used to like pitching each other ideas like all the time. And this one, for whatever reason, was just one that we came up with. Like the original idea was actually just like pregnant with alien, which obviously isn't like so unique a concept, but we were, there was something about it that really appealed to us. And we spent like months, if not years, working on a version of it where the main character was a woman who was in her 40s and she was married to a guy, and it took place in the 50s, and like they were staying on like an army base. Like it was so different, and then we just kept sticking with it because we really liked it, and then it obviously changed a lot, and then we put it in a high school and made it much more about like the teen pregnancy element of it. But I think it was just like it was just something that it just didn't really leave us, and so we just kept digging and digging and digging. But it wasn't like we had the full fleshed out idea all at once. It took like a lot of banging our heads against a wall and being like, what is it about this thing that is interesting? Right. And I think it's so I hope that was
sometimes it's almost this thing of like it is the ideas. It's not that, to Steven's point, it's not like you have the idea and you go, yep, like, write, like, print the script, it's done. It's almost like, oh, it's been a year and this is still interesting to us, and it's still giving us new ideas, and that almost tells you there's gas in that tank, and then it's this long process of trying to make a thing that represents the blurry idea that you had in your mind when the thing that he and I both like, oh yeah, this is what's good about it, even though we don't know yet. And then it's about finding the ideas that are like, it's like you're blindly working through this maze of trying to find the thing that is what we're both latching onto about it, even though it's not like a clear picture yet.
Right.
That made no sense.
No, totally. So
no, it does.
When you go, how long before you had that initial idea and you started like shooting it, basically? Like how long was that time frame? A long time?
Actual years. Yeah. I think it was, I think we started writing it in 2012.
Wow.
Is that right, Ben?
Like that. Yeah, I think that's got to be about right. And it wasn't like it was 20. And then we shot the short that was the proof of concept of the clinic in 2015.
Wow.
Yeah, and just to really draw it out, so like to Stephen's point, it was about this woman who was older, and it was this totally different movie. And then we kind of we kind of hit a little bit of a dead end, and we put it down. And then one day Stephen came in and was like, because we were working on sketches, we're always having a creative conversation. So even if we're working on something else, Stephen came in one day and was like, what if it was in high school? And that was like
the perfect spark you needed.
Yeah, because all of a sudden, I mean, and also we wrote it with this third sketch collaborator of ours. His name's Scott Yakshin. And it was like the idea of it fitting into a more, like the first thing we were writing was almost not comedy. It had a little bit of like Coen Brothers level like quirk to it, but it wasn't funny like hopefully the way Snatchers is. And I think when Steven had that idea, it resonated with us a little bit more that like, oh, there's something that is much more right in our wheelhouse here. But then even that, we wrote like 10 drafts of that script. Then we made this short film. And then it was only even after we made the short that that the story really even coalesced to us even further. So
this might like blow your guys' mind, or it might just totally bounce off you like it's not that interesting, but it's very interesting to Benji and me. But it's it seems so obvious, but that when you watch the movie, that it's about about teen pregnancy, but we didn't know that. Like it took us. We wrote like 20 drafts where it was like, yes, they were in high school, but it wasn't like there wasn't any focusing on how it was affecting the character, like being a pregnant teen. And which is because we started from such a different place with it. It seems obvious because when we finally were like, this is what the movie is about, we like, you cut away everything that has nothing to do with that. And then you're left with something that hopefully is just, with that idea in essence. But it just like took us so long to figure that out. And I think that a lot of, when Benji and I started writing, that like you come up like that, like you have the idea for the movie and then you just like write it linearly, and it's so not that. It's such a more like abstract, like very like you do this little part and then this part and then this part and this part and this part, like, and then like and you throw it all away and you hate yourself, and it's great.
Well, to Steven's point too, it's not, it's so not about having this like one genius idea, or like it's so, I think the thing we pride ourselves the most on is when we one of us has a good idea, or when two of us together come up with a good idea, knowing that that's a good idea and following that.
Right.
But you could be sitting there iterating ideas for 3 days, and the only wisdom you're bringing to it is knowing none of these are the right idea. And so sometimes it is just about, but when we did hit on teen pregnancy, we were at least smart enough to know, like, yes, finally that's the right direction.
Right.
That's 5 years.
The version that we shot the short with, we thought that the monsters were like that. The little snatcher was like a metaphor for lies, just to show you how far away we were. We're like, she's lying to her friend, and the aliens are lies, and she's birthing all these lies, and her life is falling apart. It was just like so wrong. So like in the actual like short that we shot that is now in the movie, like there were like lines of dialogue about like, that's why the like there's like, I forget what the line is. It's like when she like admits that Skylar is the one that she was sleeping with, it was because she is like, we were envisioning versions of her like having lied about who it was that she, it was a long and winding road.
Well, speaking of lies, I think we have 2 other guests that want to join the show, right, Ben?
Yes.
I don't. Are they? Do you know if they're ready to come? Oh God. Oh God.
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh, that is awesome.
Oh no. I don't know. Where's the other one? Oh God, there he is.
Oh, there's another one.
Can it snatch her neck?
Yeah.
Right.
There you go. There you go.
You want to know something funny?
Yeah.
These
that is
part of the
awesome,
way that we came up with the alien design
so cool.
was we knew that we were going to make this like pretty cheap, and so we were like, oh, what if like the humans were part of the design? Robot Dawn.
Thank you, Robot Dawn.
Robot Dawn.
So we were like, oh, it'd be cool if like the aliens like kind of like.
Whoop. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I was like, I'm boring the hell out of these people.
Yeah, please stand by. Technical difficulty.
Let this guy. Yeah.
Blockhead. Blockhead. Thank you, Blockhead.
But so we were like, oh, the snatcher will sit on people's necks, and then like the people will do like the cool stuff. But what we didn't realize is that the way that like your head basically gets forced down, like with your chin against your chest.
Right.
And so to do like any like physical activity, it was so difficult to be like not seeing where you're going and then like run straight ahead.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge. Next question.
No, I love the design of the alien. I love how
So cool.
I think we talked about it a lot when we first watched the movie a couple months ago. But like the way, I don't know the actor's name, but the guy with the sign outside of the clinic.
David Stevens.
Yeah, the way he moves when he first comes out is horrifying.
Yeah.
Like when he's all like, I mean, it's like he's walking kind of like a zombie would in a zombie movie, but like, man, the way he does that is like, I just love it. It's so good.
Yeah.
I was watching it today and with my wife, and my wife goes, "Wait, was that animated? Like the way when he first gets it on his neck, the way he twitches is creepy.
So good.
Super creepy and
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He did that himself. He came with like all of these ideas about how he was going to move, and so like that was totally his bringing that physicality to it, which was really awesome. There's also like there was like stuff like in the frame that we were like, what is that like we can't like, because like there's flashing lights and it was like causing like this, we thought it was like a weird artifact from like our color grade of
Digital,
it, but like
yeah.
it ended up just being like saliva that was like dripping out of his mouth. And it was a little bit of a mystery for quite some time. But his like mouth was like
level of commitment.
Yeah.
I will also say there's a little bit of a subtle shout out deserved to our sound designer Jake Proctor, because like there are these the I remember like we had the shot in there for a while and it was a cool shot and David H. Stevens was incredible in it, but then like you add these bone popping like cartoon things that are all so specifically timed to every knuckle movement and everything, and it really it's amazing what that does to
Totally.
Yeah,
and like getting into like the editing of it, like they're like, I love the like Dutch angle zoom in when they're screaming. Like I love all that stuff. Do you have any like inspiration from other horror movies that came from, or what was the story with that?
So Benji and I are huge Sam Raimi fans.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Do you want to use
it would be
Oh, there it
crazy
is.
if you weren't. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But so he had done something similar in Benji and I were talking about this recently, where it's like they said like the line about like good artists borrow and great artists steal, and we're like, we definitely steal a lot. No, that's not to say I'm not trying to call us great artists, but I am just saying that he does a version of that we were like, oh, this looks really cool, but his version was like way slower. And the cuts that he was doing, it was in Spider-Man 2, where it's like with like the Doc Ock thing, where there's like
classic.
And I'm actually talking about a different moment, I'm realizing. So anyway, I'm gonna stop my rambling.
Well, Steven's talking about when the nurse's hands are hitting the ground and we do these kind of like tight little mini snap zooms into the girls' faces as they gasp. But we had liked what he had done, but we were like, well, our favorite thing is when we like something a director did, but when we're talking, we're going, it was really cool, but they should have. Then we're like, whatever that they should have is what we do. Really about the Dutch angle snap zoom thing. That was. I remember when Steven had that idea. We always were going to do the snap zoom, and the idea to go Dutch in the middle of it. I think that comes from us having these conversations of going like the whole scene at that point, or actually the whole movie up into that point, is shot with no like essentially like horror cinematic language. It's all like relatively controlled camera moves and like all this stuff, and so that moment
that's when it takes off.
It's like it's literally turning into a a more pulpy, horror-y camera language in like hopefully in real time as the girls are experiencing it, and then we're in it, and then we can do all that kind of stuff. So that comes from us being like, we're not getting this feeling yet, or whatever.
We do have someone on the line. Are you still there? Hello.
Whoa.
Hi.
Fifi.
It's Fifi.
Fifi, hello.
Hi, Fifi.
Hi, Fifi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Hi, I watched your movie.
Wow.
She watched your movie.
Yeah, thank you.
What'd you think of Fifi?
Fifi, rate it from 1 to 10.
Remember, they're sitting right here, so
yeah, they're
like
right here.
Scary. I liked it. I think it was like an 8.
Nice.
An 8.
We'll take it.
8 out of 8. 8 out of 8.
8 is great.
Out of 8.
8 is great. Not
Fifi,
Not
your
your
favorite.
but 8 is great.
Fifi, your favorite scene from the movie. What was it?
My favorite scene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I liked when they were killing all the little snatchers at the end.
Mm,
You
Yeah.
like the
Great.
ending.
the party scene,
The high school party.
so good.
The party scene.
That's
Loved
great.
it.
When
Loved
they bust in the door and it's just completely silent and they have to like aliens are coming. That's so good.
Cops.
Cops. Yeah. And all the cops are dead.
Woo!
That's awesome.
Fifi, do you have any
Yeah.
questions for Steven or Benji?
Thank you,
Or
Blockhead.
both?
Yeah. Okay. Well, they kind of answered the question that I had because I had a question that was like, oh, well, like when or like did it start out as being about teenagers? Because yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I'm actually impressed that you
But-
asked the question because like we always think like, oh, it must be obvious once we made it, but yeah, no,
No.
like you said, we
Well, that was the thing. Like, I thought it was so obvious. So then when you guys were talking about that, that's why I was like kind of baffled.
Well, you know, I think part of the thing is like you have this idea of like, oh, it'd be cool to be pregnant with an alien. Like that sounds like a cool movie, and sometimes you have to cut away at the like your obvious assumptions, and it's like, well, who's like, you know, we were like whatever 25 at the time, and it's like, well, who's pregnant? Grown-ups are pregnant, you know.
Right.
Like, you
Right.
start with these like really simple ideas, and then you start going, and sometimes it is just about thinking about something long enough that you go, you know, there's another really interesting group of people that get pregnant. Maybe that's a movie.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
I mean, and just to that point, like the original idea was a woman who gets pregnant with an alien, as in a singular alien. And there was a
Right.
point at which Benji was like
Two.
pitching me a version where it's like, what if the alien comes out and it's chasing Sarah and she's running and then she like grabs a pole and she like sticks it in it and it dies. And I was like, what? No, then it's over. And he's like, and then her water breaks again. And I was
Ooh.
like, ooh. But it actually isn't like a obvious idea that it's like, oh, there are two aliens. And then we were like, oh, they're the exact same. And then it took us a really long time to figure out, oh, maybe like, you know, it's kind of like a teen sex comedy. Maybe like one should be male and one should be female. And putting the incest thing aside, yes.
Yeah.
But
Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
but like those ideas all were that was not all in one fell swoop. That was like over the course of years and like that it took us to get. And then like even the idea of like when the alien was supposed to come out. Like one of the things that Benji and I were like really adamant about was like we didn't want to make a movie where it was like Sarah's pregnant for 90% of the movie and then the last 10 minutes the alien comes out. We were like, no, we want it to like come out and it's like it'd be an alien movie, but like she still had to be pregnant. So it was like that. So the two aliens ended up working for that. So it's like it's it was not a it took a lot of tearing our hair out.
Sure.
I tore all mine out.
Here, hold on. I can help you out with that.
Okay.
Oh, well, there he is.
Yeah, come on.
There
come
you
on,
go.
Baby.
There you go.
Can we do any motion tracking? Can it stick to me?
I have to do it manually, but sure, I can do this the whole
Oh,
show.
this is great. Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Benji, you said something that really blew my mind. You said that it didn't start off like as a horror comedy. There were moments that were funny, right? Is that what you said? Like,
Oh yeah,
like a dark
Our
comedy.
original idea was more like was a little bit more like. I mean, we come from a comedy background, so we always are.
Right.
You know, I think it's hard for us to write something that's totally straight with zero. But it was much more like like kind of like interesting characters that might have some funny moments, but it was not like.
Right.
I think Snatchers opens with an animation of a bunch of
Yes.
dudes with giant
Oh my
boners.
God.
Like that's a comedy move.
So good. Yeah, it amazes me because there are so many good comedic lines in this movie, like scenes in this movie. It's just incredible. It really is.
First of all,
very funny.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Just to be clear, when I was saying it didn't start as a comedy, specifically, I was saying it when we were writing it, when it was about an adult woman, it wasn't a comedy. And when Steven came one day, I was like, oh, I think it's about a teenage girl.
Right.
And I was like, well, that's like that. It unlocked that. Of course, it is a comedy, but it was specifically. It was just interesting how that idea of like, you can just feel the difference of like, oh, you know, a high school sex comedy overlaid with an alien movie is different than like sad woman can't
Gotcha.
Right.
get pregnant and
Yeah.
then eventually does with Alien and everyone cries.
Fifi said she accidentally hung up. Well, if you want to call back, you can call
All
back, Fifi. So
Don was saying that Aaron had a good question. I can't scroll up on the chat.
Oh yeah. It was about collaboration, basically, like the collaborating between you guys and there was another writer on the project, right? So what was that process like? And oh no, he died.
No.
Was it an alien? Did he get pregnant? So he said, Aaron said, did you learn anything about how to collaborate and what would you do differently next time? And he says, in parentheses, there needs to be a next time. And I agree. And I agree.
Very sweet. Yeah, I think the biggest thing, I mean, Benji and I have been doing this for our entire adult lives. And when we first started, I think we are speaking, I won't speak for Benji, but just speaking for myself.
No, please do.
Well, I think just both at just being young men, we had much bigger egos and we had a lot more to prove. And one thing that you learn when you do these kinds of things is that it's actually like an enemy. The enemy of collaboration is kind of like feeling like you have to get your idea in there. And I think, this process took us literally years to write it. I mean, I know that sounds kind of silly, but
no, not at all.
By the end of it, it's like it goes through so many iterations, and the most fun and the best work that gets done is when you are open to your idea being the wrong idea, which happens all the time. And at the beginning of it, it feels like when someone doesn't like your idea, it feels like a challenge to you, but really it's just like, no, the idea isn't good. And so like the older we get and the more we do it, the easier it is to like let your idea go and try to find the best idea. And I think that is really, and it's still, and it's a struggle because everyone has an ego to a certain degree, and it's hard to
mesh those ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Blockhead is asking in the chat, did you have any disagreements about like script and execution? Anything you're willing to talk about?
I will say just to the point of everything Steven just said, which, like even when we were, so we grew up together, we started doing a sketch show in college at UCLA. And then we kind of continued making sketches with the guy who wrote Snatchers with us, Scott Yakshin, after college as this group, the Old Money Boys. We still have a website with our sketches, oldmoneyboys.com.
Ooh.
Just check it out.
Wow.
There's a lot of male nudity people.
Yeah, a lot of nudity. If you want to see all of our butts, go to oldmoneyboys.com. But the point is that even when we were at our youngest and most ego driven, I think we always had this thing where even it would take longer, like you have longer arguments and longer conversations, but I think we both always would let the best idea win. It just sometimes would take like now we can get there faster with less ego, which is all to say that someone put our website in the chat.
That was me.
Okay.
Here it is.
This is incredible.
Here it is. The interview is canceled. All we're doing is watching these.
Yeah. You guys got to check them out.
Yeah, they're good. They're pretty good, if I may say so myself.
But anyway, long story short, as far as any disagreements about the script or whatever, I actually, every creative idea I think is a process of me and Steven pitching each other ideas and trusting the other person's taste to say, if something doesn't resonate with them, there's a good reason for that.
Yeah.
So it'll be like, hey, I think this shot should do this and the camera should do this. And the person will go, okay, but when I'm playing that in my mind, it feels like that's creating tension, but we want to be releasing tension. And then we'll go, okay, that's a good point. So it's almost a process of disagreeing until you agree. And it's just a matter of, can you do that with like respect and the truth is, the more success we had, the more our sketches started getting better. And the more the more success we found with Snatchers, the easier it is to do that because you see the collaboration is what makes stuff good, and the ego is what makes stuff bad. So it's easy to start being like, oh, this collaboration thing's not such a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, and really quick, just to answer the question, like I think it's funny. I think a lot of people who haven't worked, who don't have writing partners, are kind of like blown up or like don't really understand the process and think that it's a compromise that we end up getting to a lot of the times. But I think Benji and I don't view it that way. Like I think we both kind of view like our idea on its own is less than it would be with each other's input.
Right.
So
Totally.
like when we're working towards it, it's still like it's only making it better in our point, because we're going like, if both of us have differing, we definitely have been in situations where we can't find where I really think it should be one way and Benji really thinks it should be another way. And then we go like, okay, if we both really think that, then it means that we're both wrong, because something about what I'm saying isn't resonating with Benji, and something what Benji's saying isn't resonating with me.
Right.
And then we find an answer and it works for both of us. And we're like, that's great, because we might have alienated half of our audience with that choice.
Right.
And it feels like I never feel like at the end of the day, like I go home being like, we were going with a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And part of that is that the medium of movies is a audience. Like the audience is half of the experience. Like that, it's not, you're not making this thing to be played to a theater of 0 people. So I think there's a reason why, especially in comedy, you see like writing teams. And I also think our generation of directors has way more directing teams, because you see that like at the end of the day, pitching someone an idea and getting their reaction to it is the germ of the idea of what making a movie is for somebody. Is here's an idea, how are you going to react? So if like Steven's saying, if I have an idea that's not resonating with him and he has an idea that's not resonating with me, that means that you can be sure that someone in that theater it's not going to resonate with.
Right.
Once we get it to where we're both liking it, that's at least a start.
Totally.
Onlyolds.com, that's really interesting. Have you guys been to lemonparty.org would be my question.
What is onlyolds.com? I'm scared to.
Please do not click that link.
Did Don not mean to put that in this window? Oh, Grandma Fart Party. Yeah. We own grandmafartparty.com if you guys ever want to.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys are cool dudes.
It is true.
You guys are cool dudes.
We don't.
Fifi has a part 2 to her question.
Oh, right.
You said, to me, the film was, or seemed obviously about body control.
Yeah.
Were you thinking about that when you were making it?
Body control in the sense of like people being like controlled, I imagine.
Like controlled against their will. I'm assuming.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, that like I don't think that really did crop up for us as far as like what it was about. But I think one of the things that one thing that we are true believers in is that like when there is an idea where like a bunch of things are working, there are like subconscious choices that you start to make because it just resonates for some reason. You might not be able to put your finger on at first. So I don't hate that interpretation of it.
That's a cool interpretation. Yeah, it's funny because when you try to come from a place of theme, which can be both helpful but also, if you try to force a theme, it becomes a little bit like forced.
Right.
Like you can feel those movies where they're like, they're
an
trying
agenda.
to talk about it. What's that?
They have an agenda. They're trying to get across.
Where it becomes like didactic almost. And so we could tell we were in a sweet spot with Snatchers when it stopped feeling like when things were organically, we were like, we know this girl's embarrassed about people judging her about this thing, and all of a sudden the scenes were it was actually making it easier to have that stuff be true than like, well, we got to find a way to get this in there, which is all to say, that's we were talking a lot about self-worth and it being either externally given as a negative or coming from within as a positive, and it is interesting that the aliens control people's bodies and like, I mean, you hope that there's more theme than what Steven or I could have even thought of. Like that's what hopefully gives a movie legs.
Well, that's the mark of a good script and story, is that different people can take different things from it, right? Like you guys had this thing, and if a teenage girl watches it, they're gonna get something different than me, a 30-year-old dude. Like everyone can take their own thing from it. I love that. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So I want to get into the web series side of this. So this started as a web series, right? It was Verizon, is what you said, right?
Yeah.
So it got sold when we were making it. We thought it was actually going to get sold to Facebook, and we were lamenting the fact that the monitors that we were watching it on screen, like looking at our shots with on screen, were bigger than the screens that people were actually going.
Oh no!
Oh man!
So it was like really disheartening.
So like, what was that process like? The going from you said you were writing it as a movie, and then it was going to go to a web series, and then after that you put it together as a movie. So like, what was the kind of like top level of that?
Oh gosh, Benj, I feel like you're good at explaining it.
I'll give you the hopefully short and sweet version.
Sure.
So we had written it as a movie. They bought it as a web series. We almost said no because we were so passionate about it being a movie.
Right.
But we also knew that we had no credits to our name and no one was going to give us anything. So we were like, all right, we got to do this. And between me and Steven and also our manager was really like helpful, that being like, we were like, look, we really want to shoot it and then cut it back into a movie. And he was like, and even the people at Warner Brothers, to their credit, were like, okay, like, you know,
that's awesome.
Whenever the rights release, like, I mean, I think they were kind of giving us not a hollow promise, but a little bit of like a, 10 years down the line, maybe you make it into a movie.
And I think also, sorry, one interjection was just our manager was like, even if we're not able to sell it as a movie, like if you guys cut it into a movie, then we can at least show it to people, like internally, and at least they'll see it.
Yeah, like in the industry, right? Yeah.
Something.
That's great.
So the craziest thing was, as we were finishing editing the web series, I'm going to skip ahead over the hopefully boring in between details, but as we were finishing editing the web series, literally the day we locked picture on the web series, we texted one of our producers to say, hey, like we finally, it's been such a long process, like let's go get lunch, whatever. And he texted us back, did you see the news? And we see that Go90 has closed.
Oh.
And it was like, this is Quibi, this is the exact Quibi story before Quibi. And we were like, oh my God, yes. and the rights reverted back to us. Can I tell this story about South by, Steven, or do you think it's...
Oh, please.
Like,
I think...
I'm giving you permission.
I'll try to be as... I won't... Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, the short version of it is, we were like, now we can make it a movie, but people were like, all of a sudden, because we had made it a web series, everyone internally was kind of like, no, it's a web series. And we were like, no, it's we made it as a movie. So we kind of on our own dime edited it back into a movie and submitted it to South by. And then it got into South by. And then when it played at South by and got really good reviews, then everyone internally was like, this movie that we keep talking about.
Of course.
There was a lot of retroactive support.
Sure.
Yeah. It was like, we all have loved this movie from the get-go. And so...
So in your minds, it was always going to be a movie. Did you have to go back and like reshoot anything or shoot new stuff when you were doing the movie?
There were a few things when we cut it down from a web series into a movie. We shaved out half an hour bench of footage, and that actually is a lot. It's a lot of footage, and there was a whole subplot that we took out, and there were a couple things that we needed to patch over, and so we did them in the truly most efficient way possible, where I think we got to shoot 3 pickups, and then we also didn't have time when we were shooting it to shoot any outdoor for the first half of the movie. Like we had no exterior shots. Like it was just we didn't like have time. We shot the first half in like 16 days, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was like to shoot comedy and action are notoriously the most time consuming genres, and this was both of them. And it was super low budget, and like most of these things that you end up seeing, like most low budget horror stuff, is like super limited locations, and we didn't write like, hey, we have a house, let's make it a house movie. We were like, let's just write our movie and then figure out a way to do it. So we were all over the place, and we just didn't get a chance to go outside. So I think we got a chance to like shoot some exteriors for our movie. Not that very
we like shot a couple we shot like Sarah's house exterior, and like that kind of like just small stuff that is you don't realize how much that stuff tells your brain you're watching a movie, not a web series.
Right.
It's like the absence of or presence of on the other side.
Totally.
You guys have some like amazing special effects in this movie.
Oh, thank you.
The practical effects are great. Digital ones are great too. Like, what is your favorite effect from the movie?
God.
I have 2, Steven, but I'll let you go first, and then I'll tell, if you take one of mine, say the other one.
Okay, I think I mean it's really hard for me to not. I love like the OG Snatcher, just in execution. I think Benji and I, thank you. I think Benji and I were really, I think like everyone, we kind of were sick of seeing like a bunch of like CG stuff, and we were really adamant about doing the Snatcher practically, and it was a way just to like it just felt like it was just cool. Like we loved having it on screen. So we have a guy from Salt Lake City. His name is Chris Hansen, who is like a monster guy. And if you picture a monster guy, that's him. Like you are imagining him. And,
are you picturing a guy with long stringy hair wearing it like an obscure horror movie T-shirt? Because you got him.
Yeah. First, I was thinking of the To Catch a Predator guy.
Right, that's where my mind went.
Yeah.
Does he also have a TV show?
Yeah.
Take a seat.
The irony is that this guy could be the guy that Chris Hansen catches.
Oh no!
Anyway, just to wrap up my little choice, he also just designed the big queen at the end, like which we made a practical head for. And then built the CG body around, but he was so integral to making it. Like he was just so generous with his time and really worked with us to give us something cool. So I just love the practical effects.
Yeah. I love that. That's where I'm at too. And then the only other thing is that I when we were doing the short, we had one idea that just kind of like, I don't even remember when it came into the mix, but it was one of those ideas like we were talking about before, that once you have it, it's correct, and you could change everything, but it's going to stay, which is that doctor's head exploding.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
And so when
so good.
First of all, we storyboarded the hell out of that, and just like, Steve and I put so much thought into it, so many like references of scanners and not Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz when that guy's head explodes, and all these different head explosions and all this stuff. And then we had this whole plan to do it practically, and we shot it practically. And then a friend of ours who had actually worked on our college sketch show with us, who's just a close friend of ours who works in VFX and like post in the industry, was on set that day, and he was like, can I try to do it CG? And we were like, no, we don't want to do it CG. And he was like, please, I think I can do it.
Especially because just like CG blood, like we've all seen those
CG blood,
that's so bad. Yeah. And we were like, that's what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
And I think, and this is, I think probably speaks to hopefully everything we did that is successful in the movie, which is, it is always, if you're going to do CG, it's always about the combination.
Right.
Yes, and so I think there are actually only, I just know when I love a movie, I love these kind of like tidbits, which is, I think there are 3 frames of his head exploding. That's it. And then we cut to the nurse, and there's real blood.
Yeah.
Right.
Spraying at her face. And and like, it's just one of those things that, it excites the seventh grader in you when you cut those 2 shots together and it works. And
totally.
The blood continues. So I don't know, that one I was always near and dear. And it's one of those things when Steve and I were on the festival circuit, and we screened at South by, and then we went to this showing in the first half showed at Sundance, and then it showed again at South by, and then it showed at this place in Spain. And by the time we were kind of sick of watching every one all the way through, you always got to sneak in and watch the head explosion,
right?
Because
of course,
like it's fun to have a reliable moment like that the audience always has the same reaction to. So anyway, long-winded answer.
Heck in the chat had a great question. He said, when it comes to practical effects, is there a time once it's been filmed but before it's edited where you're unsure of how those scenes are going to look?
I mean, the advantage of doing practical effects, obviously, is that you have it on set for people to react to and to like see what it looks like. And so I think the big thing that we just was a big question mark. We had a design that actually our co-writer Scott Yakishin is also an amazing artist. So he helped us design the look of the queen, and Chris Hansen made the practical head, but we actually didn't know what the body of the queen was going to look like.
Wow.
And then these guys at Milne FX actually were so great and like created the queen, like what she looks like. So like all of that, like, walking around the basement, like that's all, like there is no there is no body. That's all CG, which I think Benji and I are really proud of.
Wow.
But there were also some things that we were like, obviously a little bit limited by just based on the budget as far as like what we could do. But I think for the most part, we had a sense. We actually had this like the effects guys like gave us like a screen, and you could like literally just like walk around a space looking through the screen and see.
It was like it was like
this,
augmented reality.
AR, yeah. Wow, that's really cool.
It was
That's
awesome. So we had that reference on set, which was really cool. But I don't think there was like Benji and I are like really anal about our storyboards and about just the way, like even Sarah's vomiting, we just didn't want to be CG, so we did like practical.
Right.
Like we set up like a tube behind her mouth to like shoot like cream of mushroom soup out, because we were like, we really want the vomit to look good. So there wasn't really anything that we didn't know what was going to look like. But that is the fear about doing CG, is that you kind of are leaving it up to the end, and you
right. We do.
And I will.
No, go ahead.
Oh, really quick, I was just gonna say there is a very funny, maybe 20 years from now we'll release it. There's like, if you watch the edit of the final scene with just the head of the queen with two
nobody
and black leotards, there was a time where you thankfully you have the head, so you can, which is, I mean, that is like the difference, because you're able to intuit everything, like where where the monster is and she's reacting to it. But man, there are some days where you're working your ass off on this edit and you're watching, all right, is it perfect? And you're like, well, it's definitely not perfect because there's a guy in a leotard. So you do have great to see some confidence there. But I mean, you imagine doing that without anything, and I don't know how.
Yeah,
just
total green screen. Was there any effects or practical effects that you wanted to add that you couldn't because of like time or budget constraints or anything like that? That was a question from Aaron.
Yeah, we definitely, the original concept at the end was we really wanted to do an explosion for like the house.
The house,
where
yeah.
It was like, where it like goes in, like the Udrotonic goes into the queen, and then instead of her popping, she backs up into like some sparks. And like, just because we felt like it would be a really good, we felt like we were like teeing up, like, oh, Sarah's going to kill herself and explode herself. And then taking it away and then being like, okay, but then here's an actual explosion. That would have been really cool. But our effects guy got sick actually, and so like the guy who was going to do it ended up not being able to do it, and then it became like the other person we were hiring was like not sure that they could do what we wanted to do. So then we ended up doing the monster pop, which I think is a really good. So we're really happy with the way that looked. We just shot like 30 plates of just like shooting just like that green shit all over it.
Awesome.
And then closed it together.
Someone did just call, so if you want to call back, phone lines are open again.
I think there was a question that I saw that I thought was a good question that was asking about budgetary, like anything that we had to cut for budgetary things.
Hold that thought 1 second.
Oh, we have.
Hello.
Hey, it's Robot Don from Cyber City. What?
Robot Don.
Hi, Robot
Don.
Don.
How's it going, guys?
What's up?
I'm good.
How you doing? Hey, how you doing, Don?
Do you have a question for Steven or Benji or both?
Absolutely, I do. I wanted to talk more about the comedy roots and like, I do notice that like most current directors all generally come from the comedic background, and I don't know why that is. I would love your thoughts or opinions on, coming from a comedic background, ability to tap into more emotions, if that's a part of it, and or if it's possible, the fact that comedy and horror are super close in terms of like directing and creating in general. I would love your opinions on that type of stuff.
There you go.
And I'll hang up so you guys can talk.
Or you're gonna take your question off the air.
Off the air, exactly.
Thank you.
I have a really quick answer. I think there's more to this, but just one tiny thing that I don't think gets talked about that much, that Steve and I are really proud of, is that I think a lot of people, when they're like, we live in LA, and a lot of people are trying to start their film careers, and they have this belief that they have to like mount this whole production. I'm going to make my big first short film, and I'm going to hire a crew and a sound guy and get a an Alexa and all this stuff. And I think part of comedy, like that we just believed when we were young, was like, oh yeah, you can just always make sketch comedy, and it's like it can be cheap and whatever. And I think that gave us permission to make what ended up being like 40 short films.
Wow.
Because we weren't going, this is our film.
Right.
We were like, yeah, it's a sketch.
Right.
And so I don't think that's all of it, but I do think part of something that was a background to us giving ourselves a huge film school without being too precious and like generating ideas and executing them, that was part of it.
Good answer.
Definitely.
Yeah, being like less precious about anything that you do is like, I feel it's super important. I agree completely. Like, I work with these two dudes on our shows and stuff, and like it's, you know, when we work together, we have a good working relationship, and if like something shit, it'll be shit. But if it's funny or weird, might as well do it. That's kind of how we approach stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally a good environment. So like screwing that up is always like a scary thought. So like, again, you guys grew up together, like me, Ben, and Gabe have all kind of come together recently, but how did, like, over the years, did your relationships evolve?
With Benji and I think it took a lot of work to transition from being exclusively friends to also having a working relationship. And it wasn't always easy, especially I was saying this a little bit earlier about like when especially when we were younger and like it felt like there was more ego on the line. But I certainly think that we've kind of like rounded that corner and like much more created an environment for ourselves where it feels like working with our friends now. Which I'm not necessarily sure. I mean, it always was that, but I think there were a lot of times, I think like early when we started doing it, where I think we would both just like leave work so steamed and just like a little just emotional. And you know, it's good to get to be passionate about the thing that you're working on, but it's also there are ways of working where you can be passionate and also still be friends at the end of the day.
Well, Steve and I mean, we still do this, but you know, I think especially as we were finding our way through this, like one thing, because we were friends and because, you know, I mean, I can say I credit Steven on this because, I mean, having another person who feels like open and emotional, but like there are so many times where we would call each other after a day of work and be like, when you said that one thing, it hurt my feelings. and the difference between doing that with someone who's going, well, just get over it, we're making shit, or going like, oh my God, no, I love you, which is what we do for each other.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that is like what a healthy relationship is built upon it. And I think I hope to our credit, I think those conversations we really take to heart, and it's not like we just put water under the bridge and keep going. We really, like, if we realize something we did hurt the other person's feelings, then we don't do that again, or like, you know, at least we try our hardest not to. Well, and those things really help.
Just sorry to interrupt, but just especially when you're, I mean, I think this applies to men and women, but especially when you're younger, I'll speak from my own experience. When you're like, I definitely know that a lot of my male friendships were predicated on like teasing each other and like knocking people down. And that actually isn't like, it's fun to do that. And like, and it can be fun, but also when you're doing creative work, you are exposing yourself. Like you have to be vulnerable when you're saying like, here's an idea that I think is good. If you go like, I think that's kind of shitty, like someone's feelings are going to get hurt. And so there's also, it's a little bit treacherous just because like you feel like when you're with a friend, you don't have to treat them the way that you treat a work colleague, where it's like, well, you might normally be a little bit more respectful of the way that you talk to a work colleague. But so there's a lot of like opportunity for hurt feelings just based on not knowing like, how you like just develop your working relationship. And so Benji and I have had to like figure out, like, it wasn't like we just immediately started working with each other and it was perfect. Like we had to like,
it's a balance,
figure out
right?
Yeah.
Cool. I love it.
And can I tell the Miner's Diner?
Oh, please. It's a great tale.
It's a tale as old as time. Well, I mean, just when we were making Snatchers, I think because it felt so real, like, you know, it's the first time you like show up to work and there are actual trucks and there's a crew and like the footage you're getting is movie footage, and it's not like you're not shooting with a Canon DSLR and like making little sketches. I think it was the most there's something that's actually more fraught about having the success. Like when you're both failing together, there's a little bit of like, you can be in your bunker, but then once people start also you have like, if you have a real creative relationship and you're going to go out into the full world, you're going to get people going like, you have a grip going, hey, Steven, that's a great idea. Or like, oh, what's that idea, dude? Or like that kind of stuff. And you have to be rock solid in your relationship with each other. And one day towards the end of our Snatcher shoot, I think it was the day before our last day. Yeah. We met to have lunch to like work on something before, and we both ended up by the end of the thing of our lunch, we were both physically weeping and going like, I think you're the only director, and the other guy going, I think you're the only director. And I think that was one of the true turning points in our entire creative relationship, because we were like, never leave.
Right.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah. Our both of our secret greatest fears was that each of us didn't know what we were doing and we were just riding on the other person's coattails.
Yeah, we understand that here very much.
Oh yes, we do.
Well, you guys should know that it's not true, and the fact that you like each other means that you both need something from each other, and it's crazy how much the more you. I mean, we talk about this a lot, but there's a paradox in your mind that thinks if you admit that, it's going to make you feel more weak and more vulnerable, and actually it frees you up and it makes you feel confident and strong in your opinion, because you're going, oh, I know if I say one bad idea, this person who I've been working with for 20 years isn't going to be like, whoa, bad idea.
Bounced. Yeah. Do you think you guys will always work together, or do you have projects or ideas of something that you think you would separate on for certain things, or what does that look like?
I think the idea of working, I'll speak for myself. The idea of working by myself is very scary to me. So right now, I don't have any.
Yeah. Maybe
I don't want to
30 years from now.
Thank you, Don.
Don, we love you.
We love you, Don. Yeah, I agree with Steven. Yeah, I think whenever I picture myself working by myself, I go, so I'll do this and then I'll show Steven. I'm like, I don't even know how to do it. So, I don't know. I apparently Joel Cohen's making a movie without Ethan Cohen right now. So
yeah, weird.
I guess never. Yeah. But I think that's because Ethan Cohen quit.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
So what is next for you guys? And is it Snatchers 2? And when is Snatchers 2 coming out?
Yeah.
Well, crazily enough, I'll say we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but we were just working, funnily enough, on a Quibi show.
Right.
That is no longer of this earth.
Of this realm.
Shifted off this mortal.
Rest in peace, Quibi.
R.I.P.
But we, Benji and I are working on a couple of movies right now that we're really excited about, that are in a similar genre, that we're nearing finishing up, and then we're gonna go try to make it. But we don't have I don't know how many of your viewers are filmmakers, but just because I remember just not knowing or just not understanding how much work goes into making anything. But it's not like no one is banging down our doors being like, where's your next project? Benji and I are writing something on spec right now that we're gonna have to send out and be like, please make this.
Right.
So no one is paying us to write our next project. So it's fun because we love it, but it's a little bit of we're betting on ourselves versus and so that's very scary. So if anyone has $100 million,
we could pay you in pizza and hugs. I mean, maybe not not now, but in the future.
Virtual hugs.
Get
virtual
tested,
hugs.
and we'll talk about the hugs.
We'll
Very
we do have a blood tub. We can.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Let me get in there.
We have a blood tub. Ben, you're kind of cut off there. Let's go out. Let's get in there. Robodon, thank you, Robodon. So Ben, do you have any other questions, or do you want to get into?
I have one more question before we get into the speed round.
Speed round.
I love the name Snatchers. I think that's a perfect name for the movie. But if you had to change the name of the movie, what would you change it to?
Oh wow. Yeah, that's a good one.
So
I mean, if you can't think of it right now, maybe you can email us and we'll read it next week.
Okay.
well, okay, that's good. I will tell you that
Grabbers.
when we were making because Warner Brothers, who owned it when they greenlit the web series version, they owned Invasion of the Body Snatchers,
Right.
and their legal department was like, well, we don't know if we want another movie that's called Snatchers. And so we had a real while we were shooting the first half of the movie, we didn't know if we were going to get to call it Snatchers, and we also loved we had a couple of different names before it was Snatchers. I think the first one was Unexpected.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think there's a movie called like about a pregnancy, I think it might be like a Christian movie, called Unexpected.
Yeah.
Really?
And then when we landed on Snatchers again, as is a theme in this, once we knew that, we were like, well, that's definitely right. And then we couldn't let it go, and we were really terrified. So we actually do somewhere. We have a list that Scott Yakshin sent us of like 40 texts.
Oh
of
man.
Different names, and they're all great, and none of them were as good as Snatchers.
Yeah, Snatchers is perfect on every level. It's so good.
Yeah,
absolutely perfect name.
So the way we usually end interviews is we do a bunch of speed round questions. So you have like 2 seconds to answer it, or as much time as you need. So we're going to go through these and just answer it as fast as you can. All right.
Should we alternate just so that we don't get tripped up?
Sure.
Okay, Benji, you go
You
first.
go first.
Oh,
No, I said it first.
This is collaboration.
collaboration. You guys need to have a meeting, hug it out, and start crying, and then you figure out who goes first. Okay, ready?
Steven, you're on top. You go
Steven,
first.
Steven, you go first. You go first.
Okay.
Favorite comedy horror movie?
Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, great answer.
That would have been mine too.
You can both pick it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
We're gonna both answer the same.
No, just you each answer individually.
Okay. All right. I'll just for variety, I'll say Cabin in the Woods.
Great choice. Okay.
Who would win in a fight? Queen Alien at the end of Snatchers or a Xenomorph?
Xenomorph for sure.
Yeah, hands down.
The Queen Snatcher's trying to fuck.
Yeah. Queen Snatcher gets beaten by a teenage girl.
That's true. That's very true.
True.
If you got pregnant with an alien, who would the first person you be tell? Who's the first person you would tell? Each other? There you go. Love it.
Favorite horror movie kill?
Wow, that's a good one. The first thing that came to my mind is not a horror movie, but is the face melting in Raiders.
Great.
Oh, that's
Great
such
choice.
a good answer. That's such a good answer.
But yeah. Huh.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
Allow it.
Benji,
Oh man. Oh my God.
5 seconds,
Oh
and
my
I'm
gosh.
5 seconds. I'm kicking you out of the show.
Oh my God.
Want to come back to it? Want to come back to it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's come back. Let's come
Okay.
back.
Fast or slow zombies? What do you
That's
prefer?
slow.
Ooh.
Good lady.
What is your favorite bad horror movie?
Oh, wow. Probably Hellraiser 2 for the music.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, maybe Nightmare on Elm Street 3 for the last act.
Great choice.
That's
What
a better
movie
one.
have you seen the most times? Doesn't have to be a horror movie, but like
What movie or what horror movie?
no, just regular.
Just any movie.
Yeah, any movie.
It's gonna for
Mine-
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you go.
It's a toss up for me between The Last Crusade, Indiana Jones' Last Crusade, and Back to the Future.
Great choices.
I knew you were going to say Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. I knew that. I think for me, it's a toss-up also between No Country for Old Men and Spider-Man 1.
Nice.
Great choices. For the bad horror movie one, might I recommend Veronica?
Oh God.
Veronica.
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 That's a really bad good one.
It's a really bad one.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's good.
It's written, directed by Glenn Danzig, and if you have Shudder, it's on Shudder, and
Is it new?
it's new. It just was added to Shudder, I think, a couple months ago.
I think he was on
a
we went
Spain
to
with us or to
Seachess,
South by
Spain.
with us.
No, he was at Seachess with us.
He was. Oh my god.
Yeah, we were on a plane to Seachess, Spain to show Snatchers, and Glenn Danzig was on our flight.
Oh
with
my
them.
God.
He was bringing. I think that must have been the movie that he was going to show. Them.
Did you get close to him? What does he smell like?
Did you get tested after?
He looked like he was formaldehyded.
Yep.
There was
Yeah.
a sense of.
So does this movie. We have drops on the show. We have little video clips, and I added for going forward my favorite shot from the movie. So I'm gonna play it now. You ready? Yeah. This is from Veronica. Whew. Perfect.
Hey, that's pretty good. That's Snatchers vibes.
So good. No, not Snatchers vibes.
Yeah.
Like
it ends on her nose.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
It makes no sense even in the context of the movie. It's terrible. Let's see. What
We're up to.
Yeah.
What's a good ratio for horror comedy movies? Like how much comedy, how much horror?
Right.
You know, we didn't do this, but I actually think more horror better. But I will just elaborate on that and just say I think a lot of people use the comedy excuse to make a bad story. And I think what we tried to do, and what I think the best horror comedies do, is really first try to write a good movie that is like an interesting, fun, exciting horror movie, and then have jokes on top of it, versus using each genre as an excuse to make the other one bad. Like I feel like a lot of times it's like, look how badly we're doing the horror. Isn't that so funny? And I'm like, fuck you. Like show me a movie.
Yeah. What's your favorite Stephen King story, book or movie?
Okay, so The Stand book, but I also love his first short story collection, and which is called Night Shift,
Chronicles?
right?
Night Shift.
Yeah, but then also I think my favorite story is, it's a novella, so it's a cheat, but I think it's The Mist.
Oh, I love The Mist. So good. Heck has a good question. If you could direct any comedic actor or actress in a horror movie, who would it be?
Michael Cera.
Oh, great choice. I could see that. He could fit with you guys.
I also, who else would be good? Oh, we talk about a couple of people all the time.
Yeah.
I think we like hidden treasures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. If you need a monster in your movie, I mean,
right here.
it's right there.
I love that.
He's a good monster. He's really scary. Ben, give me something scary.
Whoa, very scary.
Terrifying.
If you had to fight aliens in real life, what weapon would you use?
I mean, what kind of aliens are we talking?
What type of aliens? Let's go with your aliens.
Yeah, the Snatcher alien.
These little guys.
Well, we had a part of the movie where, like in one of the drafts that never made it in, where Sarah and Haley put dog cones around their neck.
Oh, that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Like they're like little like neck condoms. So that's more like protective gear. And then I guess I would have to say the bug assault.
Yep.
Do you guys know about the bug assault?
I don't.
The bug assault
is a I have one actually. It's a yellow shotgun that shoots table salt that flies.
Yes, I've seen the ad for this.
They're so amazing.
It's hilarious. Speaking of the alien, do you guys still have the like prop aliens? Like, do you still have them in your possession? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
That I don't know. For some reason, Benji and I are the only people who didn't get the actual Snatcher, like a model of the Snatcher. But like so many people have them where we're like, how did you get that? Like that should be mine.
Someone's
like
some crew member in Albuquerque, New Mexico is like, me and my Snatcher. And we're like,
how did you get that? That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do you get on your pizza?
Oh yeah.
So I've been doing the jalapeno pineapple pepperoni.
Ooh,
That's what I do.
you're one of the pineapple people, huh?
What'd you say, Ben?
I know.
That's exactly what I like to do.
Oh, so good. Yeah, well, I'm
You
a
need the
pineapple guy.
I don't know if we got to end this interview now.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
It's pineapple, jalapenos, and what was the other one?
Pepperoni.
And pepperoni. I've never heard of the added pepperoni to that.
It's
I've heard the pineapple
there's a pizza
jalapeno.
place in LA that has that pizza, and it's what gave me my thirst.
Yeah, I think that must be true for me. It's a garage pizza thing, right? Yeah, that must be how I figured it out too. Yeah, it's good.
Go ahead.
Your favorite Halloween candy?
This motherfucker's asking the good questions. Okay. There is a shape of Kit Kat bar. It's not the long one.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the short one.
Mm-hmm.
It's the middle sized, and the ratio. It's high still. It's a high Kit Kat. It's got an extra wafer
I know
in
what
there,
you're talking about.
and that's where they're nailing the ratio. I have a bag in my living room right now.
Awesome. Are these like? Is this like a Halloween exclusive? Yeah, you can only get it during Halloween.
Well, you know how like fun size in general is more like floods the streets on Halloween time.
Totally.
So I don't know if it's an exclusive, but I definitely see them more. And I just saw them at the store, and I was like,
Got to get them.
yes. But I also love
this isn't-
Butterfingers, which I feel like are also not Halloween, but I feel like they show up more during Halloween.
This isn't the big cat. Are you talking about the big
This
cat?
is not the big cat. That's a great question, and the answer is no.
Okay.
All right, Steven, what's yours?
I think I don't have like a real one beyond. I just love Reese's peanut butter cups, the mini Reese's peanut butter cups.
Me
Classic.
too. Me too.
Perfect.
If you go to the movies with Steven and this guy's got money to spend, you're going to see some Sour Punch straws. I'm just telling
Which
you.
I love all the time. By the way.
I love Sour Punch straws. Those are the best. So keeping with Halloween, what is your favorite costume that you've dressed up as in the past?
I have a good.
You go.
Okay, really
Sorry.
quickly, I'll just say this: so I don't like dressing up for Halloween, but what me and my wife do, because she loves dressing up for Halloween, is we try to think of good classic couples costumes where it's obvious it should be a couples costume, and then she just dresses up as the worst half of the two. So like one year, and then I come to the party as myself. So like one year she just came as full Garth from Wayne's World, and I was like, hey, it's me, Benji. Or like she'll be like, I'm jam with jelly, I'm a toast with jelly. And I'm like, it's me, Benji. Or she'll be like, I'm a tube of mustard. And I'm like, it's me, Benji.
That's awesome.
So that's what I like doing.
I love it.
Perfect.
I Halloween to me is the second worst holiday after New Year's Eve because there's too much pressure to is my feeling about it, where it's like, so I'm a big stay home, watch some scary movies,
Me
eat some
too.
candy.
Me too.
But yeah, so I don't have like good, like I've never had, part of the problem is like, oh, I'll give you my best one was the dad from Inside Out. Because I had a mustache for a while, and everyone was like, you look like the dad from Inside Out. And I was like, it's a costume I shall make of it.
Steven, you've probably gotten this before, but you look a lot like Charlton Copley.
I've never gotten that before.
Really? The dude from District 9. Right? Is that just?
Oh my god!
Is that just me?
Dickus? Is that?
Yeah. You look like that guy,
Oh my God, he does.
right? Am I the only one to like see that, or am I?
I get
One time,
three people,
Who do you get?
and that's never been one of them. But
Who are
I'm
the-
honored.
I'm
I feel like he's a
I'm
very
going to tell
attractive
one
man.
story about Steven having a celebrity doppelganger, which is one time Steven was outside of a movie theater in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
and someone came up to him and said, I loved you in The Amazing Spider-Man. And Steven was like,
Andrew
what?
Garfield.
Someone thought I was Andrew Garfield. I was
That's
like,
amazing.
Not you look like, hey, how's Emma Stone doing? You are this person.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Who are the other people that people say you look like?
There are two other ones. I've gotten Ben Shorts, which is a lot more evident when I don't have facial hair.
Ben Shorts. Ben Schwartz.
Ben Schwartz.
Schwartz.
Oh,
He's,
Schwartz.
John Ralphio and,
Yeah. I thought you said shorts, like pants, shorts. So-
Yeah, no. Schwartz.
Schwartz. Yeah, he's great.
And then
Noah Wiley.
Noah Wiley.
Okay. I could see that.
Look, this
Yeah,
person
again.
says they look like Noah Wiley.
See, there we go. They look like Noah Wiley and
Keegan Michael Key.
I always get black doppelgangers. The girl who's
Really?
like Kaylee in our movie always says I look like White Common.
Oh my god. That's amazing. That's great.
Which I'll take it. I'll take it.
He's awesome. He's the best.
I also sometimes, if I'm shaved, sometimes people will be like, "Oh, are you a potato?" And I'll say, "No, I'm a human being."
I'm a human being. That's good.
So that's exciting.
Our last question for the speed round.
This is an important one. This is very big, all right? This one you can take time to think about. It doesn't need to be fast.
Right. Yeah. This is a fuck, marry, kill.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger.
Oh, wow.
I love the question.
Thank you.
That was all Gabe. That was
Okay.
a Gabe question.
Wait, hold on. See, I want you go first, but let me make sure I have mine locked in so that you don't influence.
I need to write it down so I don't get confused.
Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing.
I love it. Taking notes.
Great question.
I love
It's
it.
a great question.
I
already know my.
We've
answer
had some
to it.
surprising answers on the show before.
Yeah.
And they're all good, you know? They all have their own pluses and minuses.
And you also you need to tell us why you chose this order.
I
Of course.
have answers and whys.
Perfect.
I'm ready to rock.
Okay.
I'm ready.
You go first.
You're
Nick.
going for.
Okay. I think we should like trade off. Like I'll say fuck, then you say fuck.
Cool.
And then
Okay. I love it.
okay.
Perfect.
So for me, my fuck is Freddy Krueger.
Me too.
Wow.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Because-
I'm sorry. That's not true. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Keep going. Mine's Mike Myers. So
Because
you go.
Because for me, first of all, I like the bedroom dream kind of overlap,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, this guy's gonna do some interesting scratching stuff, and he's also very like, I know that guy's a freak. You know,
Totally.
that guy's like trying he's like turning into things and going into things, and I'm like, that is gonna be the most pleasurable.
It's going to be hot. Super hot.
He's really creative, I think, and so
Sure.
I think I like the freakiness of it.
Okay, so
Benji.
that was fuck, right?
That was fuck.
Okay, so I'm a Michael Myers man, and it's because part of it is a process of elimination. Where for me, I'm not sure I want all of Freddy Krueger's situation in my fucking, and also to me, the mask is very like I'm like this is a one-time deal. I'm in and I'm out.
Yeah.
And like this guy, like that mask is telling me that there are no promises. Like to me, the whole thing about Freddy Krueger is like I'm not escaping him.
Right.
So I'm like, I know if I fuck Michael Myers and he likes what I've done with the place, that's it. It's anonymous. It's in a bathroom. We don't know each other.
Setting the scene here.
Love it.
And also because William Shatner's so handsome.
Yes.
And it's a
True.
William
There you
Shatner
go.
mask.
Yeah. Totally.
I'm doing that. Okay.
All right. Mary.
I'm a Freddy man.
Okay, hit us with the deets.
I'm Freddy because to me it's everything you said, Steven. I'm like, this guy's gonna keep it exciting over the long term.
Yeah, right.
This guy,
Yeah.
Like he is going to make my dreams come true, which is what I want from my partner.
That's really good.
And yeah, that's it. I had that dreams come true line locked and loaded.
Yeah, that's good. So for me, Michael Myers, I was like, it was a simple rubric, and it was like, Freddy Krueger doesn't stop talking.
Yes.
And I was like, so Michael and Jason, both you have the opportunity. Well, I'm also someone who needs that, like not in any whatever toxic way, but I also just need a lot of like
Quiet.
my own.
Yeah.
quiet time.
Oh, I totally get it.
Okay. So
Right, so you
I'm
want to be
with
reading a
Myers
magazine.
because
Michael Myers is just there.
he's just
watching from the corner with a knife.
But Michael Myers, at least I can doesn't terrify me as much as Jason Voorhees. So it was really kind of a lesser of two evils in my mind once I knew that I didn't want Freddy to be jabbing away,
Right.
up after this.
All right. And
I like that we
now,
both want to kill Jason.
Mary.
both
Now
wanna
Mary.
kill- Yeah,
Or kill, yeah. Kill.
Yeah, kill.
they both want to kill Jason.
That hurts
God.
me. That hurts me, guys.
What were your guys' choices? I'm sure your guests, or I'm sure everyone else knows, but
Actually, I don't think we've ever done it. Have we been?
I don't think we
Wow.
revealed that.
Wow. Are we the most thoughtful guests?
Yeah.
We're finally asking.
Yeah. You're officially our favorite guest now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with the Freddy is going to be a lot to handle every day.
Yeah.
So, and also he's just like he's gross and he's kind of a pedophile. So like all those things, I'm gonna kill him right away. I think Michael is the one you got to marry because he looks nice. And under the mask, at night he's gonna hang that mask up. He's gotta go to sleep. He looks relatively normal. He's not horribly disfigured. You marry Michael and Jason. You fuck once.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my answer. Ben.
I'm marrying Jason for sure. Love him.
I'm 4 different answers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm killing Freddy, and
Gonna
yeah, I guess I just
gonna fuck Michael.
have fun with Mike.
Yeah.
Be like
Michael's
Mike.
going to be great, guys.
I'm like, no.
Totally. All right, Steven and Benji, thank you guys so much for coming on the show.
Thank
You
guys
guys
so much for
are
having
the
us.
best.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, it was a
Enjoyed
pleasure,
it.
guys. Thank you so much.
Do you guys, before you go, do you
Mhm.
have anything to plug, or I don't know?
I wished we had something to plug. Man, wouldn't
Yeah,
that be great?
yeah.
to have something coming out?
Snatchers. Everyone go watch Snatchers.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Please do go watch Snatchers. Yeah, that would mean a lot to us.
And also, we're gonna watch Old Money Boys. All of those videos. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Watch
those
Old Money
sketches
Boys video.
are. Yeah, we like those a lot. We can vouch for those.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys.
We asked you guys
Right.
what movie we should watch for next week, and you suggested Mutant Blast.
Ooh, that was loud.
It's a trauma movie. We're excited to watch this.
Yeah, this will be our
Okay.
movie for next week.
Okay, I hope you guys like. I hope
So
we
great.
didn't make you watch something that you're gonna hate, because there's nothing worse than that.
Oh no, trust me. If you look at our list, we hate a lot of the movies we watch. So don't worry about that.
That's
Awesome.
great. Well, then I'm glad you liked Snatchers.
Oh, we love Snatchers. We loved it.
That's great.
It's great.
That's great.
And the sequel's coming out when? Oh no.
Never.
Oh no.
You never know. You never know.
All right. Guys, thank you so much. You can go and
Thank you,
hop
guys.
off. We're going to do the rest of the show. Thank you again for coming on. You guys are the best.
Thank you,
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
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 Oh my goodness.
Oh, the aliens.
Snatcher.
The aliens. They're just hanging out.
Bye.
That was awesome.
Kissed one. They were amazing. I
They're
love
the-
those guys.
Yeah, they're the best.
So much fun. And thank you guys in the chat for all those good questions.
Yeah. You guys killed it. Thank you. Let's see if this
you.
looks good. Nope. Sure doesn't. There we go.
What the? There's the.
There
Oh,
he
right.
is.
Now let's get through this piece of shit movie that we had to watch.
Oh God. Yeah. Talking about the actual a good, awesome, thoughtful piece, great movie, and now we watch fucking pieces.
Yeah.
Jesus. So we're gonna blast through this because we've already been going for an hour and a half. So
Yeah.
we're gonna blast through it. This movie.
You guys watch Pieces?
Did
I
you
wanna
watch
ask the
Pieces?
chat. Did you watch this pieces of shit movie? It's not. It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't.
It's definitely a movie that you need to watch with other people
Definitely.
to get more out of it.
Definitely.
You know.
I really. So this is a total ripoff of Texas Chainsaw. Even
Well, they-
even the tagline is you don't have to go
Right.
to you don't have to go to Texas for a chainsaw massacre or something.
Yeah, something like
Um,
that. Yeah.
So it's not nearly as good as Texas Chainsaw at all.
Eyeball.
But wow, your eyes, Ben, you okay?
All right. Fix that.
Is that a piece of you falling out? But I will say I love the idea of the movie. I love the idea of like the movie starts with a little kid putting together like a nudie puzzle.
A nudie. Yeah.
Have you ever seen a nudie puzzle? I've never seen a nudie puzzle.
I've seen video games actually that like it's like Tetris, but it like reveals a naked lady behind it.
Well, this was
I've never seen it.
This was in 1942, so I don't think it was a video game.
This is like an actual jigsaw puzzle that this kid is putting together.
Yeah, so like
mom,
the mom's not having it at all.
no.
He's putting together this this little nudie puzzle. Mom comes in and flips the fuck out, and he kills her with an axe, and that's like the beginning of the movie. So I and like the puzzle comes back, and we're going to be spoiling the movie, of course. So the term pieces comes from both the pieces he's taking from the women. He's only killing women, and he's making a person as he's putting together this puzzle. So like he starts with the head. You see the puzzle piece of the head, and he the first victim, he takes their head, and then it's like a torso, and then it's arms, and it's like, I really like that. It's so dumb and on the nose, but like I really like that, and I feel like that could be redone today in a really cool, fucking awesome, dark, like horrifying way.
For sure.
And I want that to happen.
Are you gonna make it?
I'm gonna make it, guys. I'm gonna make it.
Pieces, remake.
Making pieces, then I'm gonna get some Reese's Pieces and eat my Reese's Pieces while I'm remaking pieces.
Aaron says, "Well, how else do you make friends?"
It's true. It's true. So
so this takes place in 1942.
Just this first scene,
and then it goes to 82, right?
Yeah. Well, he jumps before we get that. He kills his mom, blood everywhere, and then like the police come. Very quickly, the police come, and he hides in the closet and is like, "Oh no, someone was here, the bad man." So he gets away with it.
Gets away with it. Murder.
And then, we cut to 40 years later, I think?
Yes. I believe it takes place when this movie came out, which was 82.
82.
Or 83?
82. Yeah. So we're at like a college campus in Boston. And
it's a young Ted Cruz.
Oh God, that's great. He is the Zodiac killer. We all know that. And we're at this like it's not. It reminded me of the school from Hellmaster, where it's like a technical school, but it's not. It's not. It's a piece of shit movie. So we meet this guy who is an anatomy professor, and he's very weird.
Extremely.
I can't, Ben. I can't.
Love that mustache.
You love it?
I love it because it has no sound.
Yeah, you don't need it.
No. Well, there was no sound in the actual movie.
No, there's not. If you didn't watch Veronica with us, there's no goddamn sound, and it's terrible. So yeah, he's very weird, and you're totally meant to think it's him. He even has a human woman skull on his desk that was gifted to him by a student in the 60s. Like they're really trying to force it. Like, hey, this is the guy. Like, don't worry about it. This is it. Yeah, totally red herring. And spoilers, it's not that guy. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then we meet this fucking awful, horrible actor, Willard. Of course,
he looks at the camera a bunch of times.
He looks at the camera and he's always just like shifting his eyes, like he's trying to look creepy. And he's also a red herring because like he's a big guy. He has the same chainsaw that the chainsaw killer has, and like it's like Aaron said Billy Mays. Totally looks like Billy Mays
here for chainsaws.
I'm gonna cut up these co-eds. And he's on the school too, or on the grounds. He's like the janitor, and he's very weird. And he's also supposed to be like, oh, is it that guy? And it's not. There's a scene with him later that's so fucking ridiculous that I can't even believe it's in the movie. But we'll get to it. So I can't. There's a lot of nudity in this movie, so it's going to be hard to scrub through it. But there's a girl who is studying outside, laying on the grass, and she's studying, and then she hears a chainsaw, and the chainsaw you never see the face. You never see the face of this guy, but you see him like his silhouette, and you see the chainsaw and like cuts her head off. And that was the first kill at this college.
Creeps is saying, I'm laughing so hard. Walmart, Billy Mays.
Yeah, totally. Billy Mays was probably a much better actor than this guy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This dude sucks. And so then we meet the dean, right? He's the dean.
Yes, he is the dean.
Aaron says, wait. Yeah. I know how long it's been. I noticed there's a fucking dog head above your door. What's that from? Oh, you mean me? You mean that? Oh. I can't. There it is. You mean that?
Just look at it in real life.
Well, that's not gonna work. There it is. Yeah, that's a dog head from a short film I shot a couple years ago called Dog Days. It's on YouTube. Check it out. It sucks. Anyways, we meet we meet the superintendent. No, not the superintendent. What did I say before? The dean.
You said your short sucked, and it doesn't suck. It's awesome.
Thank you, Ben. It's new favorite drop. We have another drop from this movie that when we're going to get to it, I'm going to show it, and it's.
God, I love it so much.
It's going to change the channel. Wait.
It is.
Not. Yeah, we're not.
Change our channel.
We're not going to change the channel. It's going to change the channel. Anyways, we meet the dean, and he's very like, we don't want to arouse any suspicion, and we don't want to investigate this because then it's going to make it look bad, and we don't want press. And he's just he doesn't want anyone to like to be involved. I wonder why.
He wants to keep it hush hush.
I wonder why.
Because he's the killer.
I will say I didn't see that coming.
I saw it, but like halfway through. I did.
Let me just back out here.
But I was sort of convinced that it was the other guy.
Totally.
For a while.
I'm when it comes to these movies, I'm a big old dum-dum. So I'm like, oh, you want me to think it's this guy? Then it's this guy.
No, you were not a dum-dum. Do you remember the Blackcoat's daughter and how I totally did not understand that movie at all?
You thought the demon was the furnace?
The furnace?
Oh,
the demon was the furnace.
Oh man, that's funny. Aaron's asking Dog Days. Yeah, I'll get you the link in a second. It's on my gram. It's on my gram. It's a Black Glitch Films on YouTube. You can search for it there. I'll get you the link in a little bit. It'll go at the bottom of our list if we were to rank it here. You know what I mean? All right, moving along. So, I can't. There's too much nudity here. We meet a couple of students. Yeah, look at this guy. Just polishing that chainsaw. Just stroking it ever so slightly. Willard. We meet these two fucking horny teens, and she passes him a note. It's like, hey, meet me in the pool. We're going to do it underwater.
What's his name? He's got a great name.
Kendall. Yeah. Also, with this school, people like these kids are just banging everywhere on the campus.
Yeah. Right out in public.
Yeah, like they're having sex out on the what's the open area called?
The grounds.
Yeah.
The commons.
The common area. They're just banging out on the floor. Like, what the fuck? Don in the chat says poop fucker, and I don't know what that's in reference to. Don, I'm gonna need a little bit of clarification on that one. Yeah. So
Aaron says he's putting OxyClean on the jeans.
There you go. Oh shit. And let's see what happens next. Yeah, so he says he's gonna be there. The boy says he's gonna be there in an hour, I think is what he says. She now diarrhea tits. What is going on?
Oh, Don meant to say pool.
Pool.
like he's gonna have sex in the pool. Yeah.
Look at her face. It's so bad.
Julian is asking any baby Bens left. There's one left.
There's one left. I'm going to get you that link right now. One.
The quad, says Matt.
The quad. That is the word. That is the word. Thank you, Matt. I love you. So the girl goes to the pool and, of course, gets totally naked because that's what you do in a public school pool. Like, you just get naked. And Ben, you ever get naked and swim in a pool?
Never. I always wanted to.
Really?
Yeah.
Scandalous.
Or in a lake.
Skinny dipping? Aren't you naked?
never.
Aren't you naked now?
No.
Dingus alert.
But that's a literal dingus now. You got that dingus.
Use the dead ET.
That's the perfect use of that emote. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Can you give me a Blair Witch? If you missed the ending to Blair Witch yesterday, fuck that game.
Didn't miss much.
God, what bullshit that was, huh?
Here, let me write it down for you because it was all text.
So much goddamn words. Stupid. So the killer, of course, goes in there. Can't show it because she's very naked, and he uses a like a pool skimmer, like the net, and he grabs her by the head, and then
Which you can easily just fucking
just
go
go.
underwater.
This is how you get out of it. Boop. And out. Just shoot down. Like, he wasn't choking her like up. He was pulling her like.
Right.
It's so bad. It's so bad. So he pulls her and then pulls her out and then kills her. Or maybe he doesn't kill her. What does he take? Is this the arms? I think this is when he takes her arms.
I think so, yeah.
She dies, and then we meet this fucking dork. Who's this guy?
Oh, the guy who scares him later in the movie and goes, Casanova.
Is this?
That would be another good drop.
Yeah, that would be.
Oh, but Kendall is like a fucking sex machine.
Kendall,
Like, everyone loves Kendall in this movie.
they don't only like love Kendall. Like, there's a scene where Kendall is having sex with a woman, and he's like, "I gotta go," and she's like, and she's begging him for one more round. Literally, like, "I'll be quiet.
says,
I'll do whatever you want. Like, tape me, do whatever you want. Just please give it to me again." And I was like, "Okay, male writers of this movie." Fuck you. Like, look at this guy. This guy in the blue fucking cardigan is a sex god in this movie. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Is
Look
that
at
a
him.
perm?
Yes,
Is that okay?
totally is.
Yeah, Kendall. Yeah, the woman says, "I'll be quiet this time. I won't be so loud. You can gag me."
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
What?
Awful.
Kendall.
This dorky dude gives Kendall a note, which was supposedly from the girl, but it's actually from the killer. This whole thing was totally stupid and confusing and makes no sense. But he goes finally to check out the pool, and I think he sees that she's dead. We get various shots of the killer, like, bringing in body parts to some location. And then we get, I think, my favorite scene in the movie, and I think I can I think I can show it. So this guy, so like they're trying really hard to paint different people as the killer. So this guy, who is clearly like the number one red herring, he walks in with his fucking shifty eyes, and he sees the dead body, and he's like, "Wait, this is like a sting operation." And then he fights like 15 cops for no reason. Like, the cops are there waiting for him, and he just fights them all for no reason.
He's gotta be a wrestler. Like, he's got like total wrestler build.
Yeah, like, he's just destroying these people for no, like, he did not kill this woman. And yet he's acting like he is. And this scene makes no sense. Can't show that. Eventually we get two cops to come in, and like investigators. And
Aaron says it's Zangief, not really.
that's perfect. Totally. We get two cops to come in, and they're investigating now the bodies, and the teacher who the creepy one from the beginning comes in, and he touches the chainsaw. He's looking at it, and he touches it, and I'm like, oh, he's putting his fingerprints on it. So when they find his fingerprints, of course, that never comes back.
The cop tells him to stop touching it.
He's like, "You maybe just destroyed evidence." Like, well, motherfucker, don't let him touch shit. It's a crime scene. But no.
Why'd you invite the teacher to the crime scene?
Yeah, he says, "I don't want to wait for the coroner. So can you just check it out?" This fucking teacher, this random dude, is like, okay. And then we get, God, I hate this whole thing with these kids. So the cop goes up to these two kids, and they're like, hey, we you need to come into the police station so we can talk to you. And they're like, what, are we suspects or something? And he's like, no, we just want to talk. And then the cop enlists the kids. He enlists Kendall as like a deputy, essentially.
Yeah. Junior detectives.
And he's like, I need you to keep your eyes and ears open. Like, this dude was found with the body. Like, he ran out. Billy May saw him run out of the room with the dead body before anyone was there. So, like, he should be a suspect. But the cop's like, you know what? No, he's a good kid. We need to we need him on the case.
They are the Hardy Boys. Just done.
And then we cut to an awesome looking yoga class. Not yoga. What would this be called?
Jazzercise, aerobics.
Jazzercise, yeah. Jazzercise. And we see this creeper dude watching behind the door, and he starts to follow one of the women down. And right as he's about to strike, another woman comes out of the bathroom and is like, hey, come in, where are you doing? So he doesn't get to strike there. Yeah, this is all fucking bullshit. And then we meet this character. I liked her, but her backstory is very confusing. So there's
she's a cop and also a professional tennis player.
It's so true. Like, she's not even a cop. She's a secretary. Like, she's an assistant. Yeah. She's not even like she doesn't have a badge or a gun or anything. And the plan is, let's send a woman undercover to the school.
Right, as a teacher
to help like find this suspect and root him out. So they send her because there's apparently no other women cops.
Well, they were supposed to send 2, but the other one didn't want to do it. I think that's what it was, right?
Great writing. They didn't want to, so we just have to send one. Yeah, and her story is when Kendall comes out of the office of talking to the cop, he meets her and he's like, oh my God, are you Mary Riggs? Are you Mary Riggs, the Mary Riggs? And she's like, yeah. And we learn that she's like a former Olympian or tennis star or something. Like,
just got a desk job at the police station.
Why is that part of the story? It makes no sense. Like, they have a little flirty, her and the kid. I mean, he's like 20,
who
but
could resist Kendall?
Kendall and he's a sex god,
Yeah.
He's got that dingus. Oh yeah, this is my favorite scene. We get 15 minutes of tennis. Literally, now she's going to be, of course, the tennis teacher. That's, right. I guess, why they needed her. And we get the longest fucking scene of just people looking back and forth as they play tennis. No joke, it's literally like 5 minutes long. It's so unnecessary. Yeah. The dean comes over and is like introducing the fake teacher to the reporter who has met her in the previous scene. You think you wouldn't want this out. Like, everyone's denying that these murders are happening, which is like, why? I mean, I guess it makes sense later when you find out who the killer is, but I don't know. It's dumb. Oof. Can't show that. So throughout the movie, before a kill happens or after a kill happens, you see the killer putting together the pieces of this puzzle. So he starts with the head, like I said, and then the arms and the torso.
Right. The puzzle gets bloodier and bloodier as it goes because he's wearing the same gloves that he uses when he kills these women.
Yep.
So there's like blood stains all over this nudie puzzle.
So now we go back to the woman who is in the jazzercise thing, and she's alone in the building now, of course. And she gets in this weird, creepy little elevator thing.
This isn't the shower. Is this the shower scene? Is that later?
I think that's later. You mean the waterbed?
Oh, I like that. That's this part?
No, that's not this part. That's later.
Okay. No, there's a shower scene.
Is there? We probably can't show. Oh, no. That's later. Yeah, that's toward the end.
No nudity on this show.
Yeah, we can't show the nudity. Except Ben. You're always naked. Ben, go down. Don't show your holes. So this is the scene where we see Kendall just destroying this girl. And she's like, please, God, Jesus, give me more, one more time around the sun, please. And he's like, I can't. I gotta go meet with this tennis instructor because she's super hot. He knows that she's a cop or she's a whatever the fuck she is. She's undercover.
Yeah.
And he has a little crush on her, and she seemingly has a crush on him too, I guess, which is kind of weird.
You can't play that scene that Kendall's. Oh no, because there's
boobs.
Kendall's.
And you see his dingus, which means
Dingus alert.
you see an actual dingus.
Yeah, I'm
Happy.
I am
Great.
actually happy that there's actual male nudity, and I think there's more male nudity in horror movies than any other movie. Don't you think?
Yeah, needs to be more. Let's show all the ding-dings. Let's show all the ding-dings. Aaron's showing
more ding-dings.
Aaron's showing those IRL Richard emotes. Hell yeah. So Mary is like walking around the campus at night, which is strange, and this is incredible. I think I can show. I'm gonna show it. Yeah. So she's
ninja.
Yeah. So she's walking, right?
So dumb. I don't understand this.
I still don't. And out of nowhere comes a ninja.
Yeah.
And they fight. This dude straight up, they fight each other. And
She was
then
about to shoot him.
she was gonna shoot him, and this dude is attacking her she kicks him in the nuts, of course, and then he just passes out because we've all been there. And then you hear what sounds like a chainsaw, and it's actually Kendall on his little bike. I like this. I like the fake out here. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at this badass Kendall.
Look at
Kendall
him, sex
Kendall
god.
explains, oh, hey, that's my kung fu teacher. Wait, what?
Yeah, and he wakes up, or he comes back up, and he's like, "Hey, I was just going out for a jog, and I and he's such a like it's such a racist character. Like the way he talks, he said it like it's so bad, and it's completely like why was he even there? Look at those eyes. Look at that. Tell me you don't want to bang that dude right now.
God, so dreamy, Kendall.
So dreamy. She's also got those eyes, you know?
Yeah.
Meant to be.
They look like they're from Dune.
They do look like they're from Dune.
They got that spice.
Oh, here we go. So this is gonna be my favorite kill. So now Mary is trying to track down the killer, and the reporter from earlier is following Mary because she now knows that there's dead girls popping up and that this is a cop, even though they're trying to hide it from the press. So she's following her. She goes into this building. Earlier in the movie, it's explained by a group of students that a waterbed has been installed in the school.
I missed that part.
You missed it?
I just thought there was a random waterbed in
No.
the school.
There's a conversation about a waterbed being installed in the school, and they're like, "Have you ever made it on a waterbed?" And one of the girls goes like doing it on a waterbed while smoking weed is like heaven, and it's so fucking stupid. It made me do this. What? And why would a waterbed be installed at a school like this?
Well, I don't know. You just explained it. It's like because if you make it and
True.
on it and you smoke weed, it's
like heaven.
Pajamas.
It's like heaven. Catch pajamas.
Okay.
So the reporter gets in there. She gets trapped, and the killer is.
Blockhead says, "I have to see this. I'm sold." No, Blockhead, you don't have
Watch
to see
it,
this.
Blockhead. Watch it. It's so good. Killer comes in. This is the first non-chainsaw kill. We get a good struggle.
Well, I think there's
Oh. No, I don't think. No, she's wearing underwear. I won't show it. Hold on, wait. Okay, so she ends up on the waterbed, right? She's wearing underwear, and then he. I gotta show a little bit. So I'm gonna say that this is my
Kill of the week.
kill of the week because it's a waterbed and there's so much water and it's all bloody and it's awesome. So he stabs her.
Hey, it's not stupid. Waterbeds and weed. Don't knock it.
Is it like heaven?
I take your word for it.
So like he misses one, duck down for a sec.
Oh yeah.
So his fist right there is the knife, right? So he missed stabbing her head and stabbed the waterbed. And now water is like splashing everywhere.
Water and blood.
Water and blood. You can come back up. Oh, wait. Oh, this is what I want to show. This is the shot. So like now the waterbed is completely like deflated, but it's all water and no bed and blood.
Tons of blood. Tons of water.
So good. So good. It's not. It's stupid. Terrible.
It's a good kill, though.
It's a pretty good kill. Ooh. Oh man, I thought I was showing that. Thank God. I think, okay, so this is the shower scene. So we get, this girl is taking a shower, and we have to watch the whole thing, of course.
This is one of the women from the exercise place? Is that why she's showering?
No, she's playing tennis.
Oh, okay.
She's playing tennis by herself.
Yeah. Yeah, she starts playing tennis, and...
the music. Right.
Yeah, she's about to pick up the balls that she hit over the net, and then you see a shot of like a loudspeaker. Is that what those are? Start playing like horrible music, really loud,
like marching band music.
Yeah, and she goes, oh, she gets upset.
Yep.
And doesn't pick up the balls and goes to take a shower.
Doesn't clean up after herself.
Yeah, I don't understand.
So she goes and takes a shower. Strips naked, of course, because we gotta see everything, and you hear the chainsaw come in, and she starts running, and there's chasing going on through the locker room. No one is in this school now; like it's just completely dead. It's literally the killer and her. She goes into a stall. I can't show it because she's naked, and he starts cutting down. Like he cuts a hole in the door, opens it, chops her up.
Chop, chop, chop.
We cut to outside. And Kendall and Willard and Mary, Kendall and Mary were gonna go. There's this serial killer wielding a chainsaw, and they're like, you know what? Let's go play some tennis. And
a break from all this
decapitation.
Murder.
And Willard's like, hey, and as they're walking up, you can hear them reacting to the music, and they're like, what is that? And Willard's like, I don't know, I didn't do it, and with his fucking shifty eyes.
Like, I don't have the ability to do that. That's someone else's job.
Yeah.
I think that's what he says. Yeah. And then they're like, well, go get the fucking keys so we can turn this thing off.
Yeah, they go in the keys, and he's like, there's this really confusing bit where he takes out his keys, and he's like, these aren't my keys. And then he uses the keys to turn off the music. Right?
Didn't understand it.
I'm guessing the implication is that the dean stole the keys to get in the locker room to kill the girl, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. While Willard and Mary are dealing with the music, Kendall goes in, finds the dead body, comes out. She comes out a few seconds later and is like, oh, and she goes back and looks at it, and then she comes out, and we get the best scene in this movie.
Love it. This
is a drop that will change the channel forever. You ready? This is the exact scene that happens in this movie. Here we go.
Yeah, no cuts, no added work here.
I also didn't change the audio, so when you hear the audio peaking, it's in the movie, okay? That's how loud this is. Here we go. Bastard! 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 Beautiful.
It feels like the director goes, okay, now do one more for the end.
Right. And they're like, nope, let's use...
Only supposed to say it once.
Yeah, why Lisa, why? Exactly, Aaron. It's exactly like that. It's so bad, man. It's so stupid. So Kendall takes a break from just slaying girls, and he goes down to the library and helps this is like the psychologist who works for the police department, and he's going to help investigate. He's investigating teacher, employee files.
Yes.
That's gotta be illegal. A student should not be looking into these personal files of all this shit. It's insane.
Yes, Blockhead, that was Reagan. They have a picture of Reagan.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
I think there's multiple pictures of him.
Yeah, they love Reagan.
Yeah.
So they start investigating things. Mary goes over to the dean, and he gives her some coffee, and he spikes it with something, we don't know what, It's basically like a roofie. He's very weird at this point. And like, what's weird is like, this is him spiking the coffee is the first, this is when you're like, oh shit, it's him. But it's done so like subtly and not in a good way. It's not like, oh, this is subtle and cool. Like he just does it. And the way he moves is so fucking weird and awkward. It's like they told him that scene, hey, by the way, you're the killer. Go, action. Like it's just bad. Like I don't get it. So, and even as it was happening, I was like, wait, is he the killer? Like, is he just gonna roofie her and like do something else, or is he actually gonna chop her up? Because I still wasn't sold until he grabs the chainsaw. I wasn't sold. Right at this moment, Kendall finds the perfect piece of evidence, which shows that the dean was in fact the kid from the beginning of the movie, and that his mom was chopped up, and that is the only thing they need to hear. And like, oh, we got him. Let's go grab him.
Let's do this. Let's get him.
Also, you can't see it, but they're having Wendy's in this scene. Did you notice that?
You better believe it. There's a lot of Wendy's shots in here.
Love
There's
it.
parts where it's like holding up the cup, drinking it, and like it almost shows like the full logo.
Yeah. Wendy's paid a lot of money to get in this movie. So a couple minutes later, Mary starts to feel the effects of the drug, and she is now like catatonic, I guess. But she can still, like, she can't move, but she can see and feel and all that stuff. And the last piece of the puzzle that this guy needs is her feet. If he didn't need to be any more creepier, he needs her feet. And because the last girl he killed, he's building a body as he's doing this. So he's putting he's like mending and creating his own like one perfect person, I guess. And the last girl he killed, which was the girl in the shower, her feet were too big for the shoes, which were, of course, his mother's shoes, because he's got to be some creepy mom shit in this. Mm-hmm. So he's been eyeing these feet. He's been eyeing them. He's like, you know what? I'm going to take these. These are great. This is going to be great for my collection. So at this point, the cop and Kendall and the psychologist are all running to save her because Kendall knows that she's going to be in there with this dude. And he's like, you know what? We got to go save her. There's a really annoying scene where like Kendall's trying to get ahead of the cops.
Oh, can we play that?
Yeah.
Because that's fucking hilarious. They they throw him around like a rag doll in that scene.
He's trying to, The cop is like, all right, we're police officers with guns. You're a kid. You stay back and we'll go in first. He's like, cool, got it. And then he's always like, see, there's one push.
Yeah.
And then he keeps trying to go ahead of them. And it's so annoying to me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, see, there's one other push.
Get back.
Wait. He's like, I'm going in. Oh, there's another one. And then he shoots the door and then runs. Oh, nope, one more, stay back. And then he goes in. And it's so fucking dumb. It's so bad.
Always getting in that way.
So Mary is there on the couch and she's like totally frozen and she's looking at the blinds. There's big blinds covering the window. That's where the dean is.
Signal where the dean is, but Kendall's not picking up on those vibes.
Yeah, you think he would? He's a sex god, but
I know. Seriously.
You know, dingus alert. Thank you, Heck. Yeah, Kendall's a real big old dingus.
Rumor has it he's got a big dingus.
True, sex god. Yeah, so the dean is just hanging out here, and she's trying to get his attention. It's not working until as they start to walk away, the killer grabs Kendall from behind. They start wrestling. The dean gets the drop on him, and right as he's about to get stabbed, cop comes in and shoots him right in the face.
Shoots him right in the head.
And it looks like someone shot a little paintball on his forehead.
Yeah.
It looks
like
it looks real bad. Here it is. Bink. Yeah, just a little paintball. Nice slow motion, dramatic fallback, and that's it. A lot of smoke coming out of that gun too. Very smoky.
Yeah.
Looks like Hex House. You know what I mean?
What?
Movie's over, right? Totally done. She wakes up, and they're like, you know what? Oh, look. Oh, ooh, yeah. They're like, look at the.
Yeah, be careful.
Look at the jigsaw puzzle, and he's like, oh, they're talking about how the body parts and this and that, and movie's over. Everything's
Don
great.
Great in the movies. Don is asking, but be careful. Don't play that last scene.
I know. I'm not going to.
That woman.
Oh, spoilers, Ben.
Sorry.
So right here, they're standing in front of this bookcase, and they're talking about the puzzle, and Kendall's like, man, this dude's a real freak. And the cop is like, I hear ya. And he leans on the bookshelf, and the bookshelf spins, and the body that the dean has been building falls out and lands on Kendall and freaks him the fuck out. And I don't blame him, because it's a horrifying. Oh, you know what? I can show 1 second of it, because he puts the dress that his mother wore on the body. Of course he does. And as the woman falls, I can show it 1 second. There it is. So like, this is what she looks like, right? Body. As she falls, the dress gets torn off of her, and she falls naked. It's so.
And you could see that like her body was been stitched together.
Well, they want you to think that, but it's clearly just like one person with a little bit of makeup on her arm. It's so fucking bad. And then I am going to show this last part though. You can't stop me.
This is my kill of the week.
Kill of the week.
Not a kill, I guess. We don't know. I mean, it would kill me.
I'm gonna just let it play. All right. So they're winding down.
We don't see any nudity in this.
I don't think so.
Right.
So this is the dead woman, the dead body, and he's like, you know what? I gotta grab my jacket. Oh shit! I want to be sure. Yeah. And the arm comes up and grabs his crotch and tears his balls off. And he screams and he pops him. And that is the end of the movie.
Okay, I think that the end part like makes up for all the shitty parts.
Okay.
Because that was a great part.
But how is this?
I don't know.
How is she alive? Like, she got RoboCop.
What did he just get RoboCop?
Oh damn, we didn't talk to the dudes about RoboCop.
Right.
Damn it. So is the idea that he's been keeping this woman alive?
I think so.
Thank you, Tom, for the ball ripping.
Because there's a part where, like, you know, we see this body hanging, and it's kind of moving a bit.
I noticed that too, but I just took that as like it's a shitty movie. So the take they used was the actress was breathing.
Right.
So I don't know, and that's the end of the movie, and it fades to black, and that's it.
Yeah.
It, like I said before, it is I think watching it, doing a watch party. We should have done a watch party for this one because it would have been a lot of fun to do. But I think that ending is nuts. Thank you, Blockhead. That is great. I'm gonna give you one of these. There it is. Nuts. Better than that movie though.
Yeah.
So I think I like the idea of the chainsaw killer with the puzzle pieces and making his own person. I like that. Just that little nugget of an idea. I like that. Mm-hmm. Everything else fucking sucks in this movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
For sure. Yes, except for the balls. And
except for the balls. The balls and the bastard?
Yeah. Can you play that bastard thing again?
Oh, sure.
Bastard! Bastard! Bastard!
Great. It's beautiful. All right. Let's rank this bitch.
Let's do it.
So every week we rank the movies, and we got to clean this up because we're a little all over the place. But we're gonna continue on. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down to the bottom because it's gonna be down here. Now I don't think it's in the 1001. I don't think it's there. I do think it's in the bottom like 4 though.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say below Project Metal Beast, above Hellmaster.
Oh, I put it below Hellmaster.
Really?
Yeah, I think Hellmaster Velocipaster is on here. We have that way up high. That's still number 7, yeah. Aaron. We love that movie. Mm-hmm. That was our first one. Yeah, first episode. I have your drawing downstairs. I think Hellmaster had cooler, like...
Oh, there's also a Velocipaster up there on the shelf.
Oh, yeah. We have it on our set. We love that movie. And Slugs. And Troll 2. which we'll get to eventually. That's crazy that so many people have seen Velocipaster. I didn't know anyone had seen that. You guys are awesome. I think Hellmaster, while also stupid and god-awful, these are definitely on the same level. It's above Children for sure, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I think I would put it below Hellmaster because I think Hellmaster had at least cool like monster design and special or like some practical effects. Like the Scar dude was cool. I like the school, like the technical school and the TVs and when they're like stringing up people. I felt like all that was cooler where this had nothing. Like this was literally just a dude in it with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
And it didn't have any like cool. It's like the Hellmaster had all that cool like demon culty shit and yeah. So I would put it below.
Okay, I agree.
Do you agree?
I agree.
I don't want to force your paw.
Don says that ball rip though. Yeah, I know.
It's a great point, Don. That's a great point. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree.
29?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right.
Aaron says, do you guys have the list accessible anywhere?
Yes, we do.
Yes. ControlAltDeath.com.
Right here. There you go. We add them. There's a little link to the. We don't have that alert on, but we need it. Yeah, on the site we have all the episodes. You can actually listen to them there if you want to, and then we have all the rankings and the episodes. So you just have to click this, and it'll play.
So cool.
The podcast is up until the last 3, I think. All the episodes are on podcast form, on podcast services only. So if you want to go back and listen to those, you have to do it on iTunes or all that stuff. We're still adding, the new episodes are still going on there, but obviously now it's going to be more of a video show.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we're going to put that at number 30. We're going to put that at 30.
Okay.
All right. If you watched the movie or want to talk to us about any of the movies we watched, you can send us an email, controlaltdeathpodcast@gmail.com, or call us 818-457-6887. And starting...
Leave a message.
Leave a message.
We'll play it on the show.
I hear that starting next week, there's going to be a new outgoing voicemail by a character that we love. Maybe. I guess you have to call and leave a message and find out. Starting next week, this show will be on Tuesdays.
Yes.
Not to be confused with Tuesdays with Ben Monster.
Right.
This will be Tuesdays with Control Death on Tuesdays. So yeah, starting next week, Tuesday nights, same time, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. And Control Death Gaming, we're still figuring out maybe Monday nights, maybe Thursday nights, maybe every single night forever.
This is my impression.
Oh, wait, hold on. I can do something here. Oh, shit, I can't. Hold on. Okay. Ready? Turn and do it again. It's a little slow, but you get it, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Like it.
I'll speed that up for you next week. Cool. So yeah, starting next week, we're going to be doing it on Tuesday nights. And next week's movie, like we talked about earlier, is Mutant Blast. So I think for this one, we should do a watch party. What do you think?
Yes.
Okay. So this is, I think, exclusive to Trauma Now, which is their like streaming service. So we're going to do a watch party for this since we know probably a lot of people don't have it. So we will post about that.
Yeah.
We'll probably do that Monday night. We'll probably do that Monday, maybe the weekend. We'll figure it out. Check our socials.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it.
And don't forget to watch Friday's show.
That's right. Friday show, Tuesdays with Ben Monster, season 5.
Yeah.
What, season 5?
Season 5.
Season 5. We have lots of fun stuff planned for that. It's going to be really cool, really exciting. New characters, old characters. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now let's see who we want to rate. Is Money Worms still streaming.
Some money worms.
He is
Money
not.
worms.
He is not streaming.
Who else is?
Lyle is.
Let's raid Lyle. I mean, let's. What is that called?
Lyle forever.
No, but
Geknesh.
pay it forward.
Paid forward. Yeah, we're gonna rate it. He has 400 people watching. We're gonna give him like 10.
Nice.
I love it. Follow Lyle. He's awesome. Yes. I don't know if this is gonna work. Let's see.
Yes, it's working.
It is. Hell yeah. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Next week, we'll be back on Tuesdays.
Yes.
We love you.
Season 5, guys.
Go watch Lyle. Bye.